fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all Star Wars film, television, in chronological order. On the internet, today, I'm Warrior Sam Jack. This we're talking about the Clone Wars Season 4, Episodes 17 and 18, The Box, and Crisis on Naboo. I really went through that one fast this time.
You did.
Excited. I'm excited to be back.
Well, we're back. We're
and
back,
I gotta be
baby.
fast because we've got so much to talk about today, Sam. So many things.
So many
things. It's a busy week of speaking and discussing.
I know.
Words.
And all this extra energy that we're going to exert in talking about all these things is going to cost us money. I don't know how, but it will. How are we going to pay for this, Jack? How do we do it?
Well, we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it with the help of our lovely sponsor for this week. This week's episode of Unlimited Content. Sorry. This week's episode of Unlimited Content is brought to you by Gainful Employment.
Gainful employment, let's go! I love me some gainful employment.
Sam, you've been a mailman for 2 weeks now.
I have.
It's been a bit since
3
we last
weeks,
recorded.
actually.
How's it going?
3 weeks.
Oh, 3.
I
Never mind.
know.
I counted wrong.
It's all good. It's been some weeks for sure. It's going good. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm always tired. My feet always hurt. I need new shoes. My footies are covered in blisties, and it's not fun.
Oh no!
Because I have old shoes. But by Tuesday, on my day off, I will go get new shoes. But yeah, it's going very well. I was talking with Sarah about, like, there have been, like, some really, like, poopy days at work at this job, and I don't want to quit. So that's a good sign.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Poopy in what way?
Long.
Have these days been?
Long, and
okay.
So there was one day, this day was Friday. I work out of like every single post office is kind of like part of, like, it's usually like a network of local post offices that all kind of have a central hub. And so there's like, in my post office, there's 8 of them in like our little district. So until like I have my own regular route, they can just ship me off to another post office in the district if that post office needs help with stuff. Like if they're understaffed, they need an extra hand, they can send me out. So I got sent out. So I work in the Lenexa post office. I got sent off to the Indian Creek post office, which is 15 minutes away. So I showed up on Friday. I did like 2 blocks worth of mail, and then I got a call from my supervisor like, "Hey, we need you to go out to Indian Creek, 15 minutes away, because they need some help." So I'm like, "Okay." Brought back all the mail that I hadn't delivered, dropped it off the post office, went to the Indian Creek post office, met up with another mail carrier, and they got me like 4 more blocks worth of mail, and I was just finishing up the second block of those 4, and I got a call from the Indian Creek supervisor like, "Hey, we need to go to this other post office way down, like 30 minutes south."
Oh,
and so I drop off the mail that I hadn't delivered yet at the Indian Creek post office, drive way down south, and as I'm pulling into the parking lot of the South Post Office, I get a call from the Indian Creek post office, and they're like, "Hey, just kidding, come back. We weren't supposed to send you down there." So I drive all the way back. Luckily, I'm like, I'm in a mail truck, like putting miles on their vehicles, burning their gas, not doing any of this on my own vehicle. Like, so it's like, I mean, you're paying me to burn your gas,
and not walking for the.
That's true. It was, but I mean, it was in one of the old postal trucks, and so there's no AC. So I'm like on the highway with like I got the window rolled down. There's a fan in there. That's kind of all I got, and it was like 85 degrees and humid. But
fun.
I've discovered that, like, if I'm driving, if you're my boss, don't listen to this. But if you're driving in a postal vehicle and you have headphones in, and you turn on noise canceling with the window down, it's the same as if you're in a normal car with the windows rolled up. Like, in terms of like what I can hear and what I can't. And so I'm like,
that's good.
Yeah. So cool. And that's also how I can hear my turn-by-turn directions from my phone.
So that's a bonus. It is a bonus. That's important.
I can't hear turn-by-turn directions without the noise canceling on. So if you want me to get to where I'm supposed to be, that's what I'm gonna do. And I still have all the mirrors. I'm looking and being observant. I can hear cars driving by. It's just like the wind noise is gone. So I get back to Indian Creek. This is after an hour round trip, and I walk into the post office, and the guy was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have sent you out there, and also we shouldn't have called you back. We got no work for you here. So just take your lunch and then go back to your post office." So I did. So I took my lunch at 3:00 because that's what time it was when all this was done. Granted, I get on the job at 10, so it kind of makes sense that it's 3.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. And so then I go back to my post office and work for 3.5 more hours or more. Yeah, I got off at 7:30 that day. So that was a fun day. But they paid me for all of it, so and I got some overtime on that day, which is all that matters. I get paid for the time I work.
Is it time and a half for overtime?
Yeah, so the way the post office works is, and Max will be able to tell us all about it later, is that, so it's not by 40 hours, it's by the day. So if you work 8 hours, that's straight time. Anything over 8 but under 10 hours, those hours is time and a half. Over 10 hours is double time.
Ooh.
I know. The longest I worked is 9.5 hours so far. But they also have me come in late, so I feel like if I was coming in at the normal time, because they don't, since I'm new, they don't have me sort the mail before I take it out. They just hand me sorted mail and say, go take this. I'm like, okay, great. So I have a later start time, but that also means I have a later end time. Barf.
I see.
But yeah, long story short, it's usually good at the post office, and when it's not, I still don't want to quit. So that's a good sign.
That's good.
So
that's
thank you to our sponsor, Gainful Employment, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. I also want to add a secondary sponsor.
Okay.
This episode of Limited Content is also brought to you by Jason Hinson's Tears and the Cincinnati Bengals. So today is September 15th, and the Kansas City Chiefs, in a nail-biter, beat the Cincinnati Bengals here in Kansas City. Jason Hinson, our most faithful listener and caller-inner, is a big Bengals fan. And his Cincinnati Bengals lost the Kansas City Chiefs 26-25 today.
And so his tears are extra delicious today.
They are extra delicious today. Thank you, Jason. Yep.
Thank you, Jason. I'm sorry your team failed.
I'm not.
I know you're not. I gotta be the supportive one here because you're the one beating him down.
You don't. You don't have to support them. That's the Bengals. You don't need to support the Bengals. Come on.
I support my friend Jason. So there.
All right. Well, yeah. So I need to rub that in a little bit. Love you, Jason. But we beat you.
Well.
Cool. Jack Ford.
Yes.
You have lots of things that you've written down that you've been up to. Tell me about them, please.
Yes. Have I talked about this? I don't remember if I've talked about this in the podcast much so far. I have a 3D printer. Have I talked about that in the podcast yet?
You mentioned that you found one. I don't know if we talked beyond the fact that you acquired one.
Yeah. So, maybe like a couple months ago at this point, I'm on there's a series of Facebook groups called Buy Nothing. The idea being that they're hyper local, just for your neighborhood. You join the Facebook group and then people put things up hey, I have this thing that I don't need anymore. Would anybody else, get use out of it or want it, rather than immediately, throwing it away or trying to ship it off somewhere else to, it's about, it's good for the environment and it's good for community building and it's a cool idea, and people also will put up asks hey, before I order this, thing that I was thinking about purchasing, does anybody else just have one that they don't need anymore? That's a cool idea. So I've gotten a bunch of cool free things from my Buy Nothing Facebook groups. And about a couple months ago, somebody put up, hey, we have a 3D printer. If anybody wants it. It's not 100% working right now, but if you can get it working, you can have it, if you want to do that. And I'm like, sure, I'll take it. Because I knew that A, that'd be a cool thing to have if I could get it working, and B, if I couldn't get it working, I have a friend who loves broken scrap tech that I'm sure would get plenty of use out of it. But I was able to fix it. and get it working. And I it was kind of just like sitting in my living room on a little table that they also gave me. There's like a little shelf thing with like a drawer, and it's nice. So it was that, and a few like rolls of like mostly unused rolls of filament for printing. And over the last couple weeks, I've put a lot of time into like getting it set up and figuring out how it works, and then starting to like print things. So I printed a lot of cool, fun things. That's like this is my exciting new hobby that I've been really into lately. So let's see, what are some things I printed? For example, this I'm holding it up to the camera so Sam can see it, but it's a guitar pick.
Ooh.
It's a 3D printed guitar pick that I can just use to guitar with. And there's another one. It's black. And yeah, I printed. It's been really fun. Just like 3D printing is cool because it's a hobby where you can model stuff yourself and print it out, or you can just go online and there's several websites that are giant databases where people upload models that they've made, and most of it is free. You can just download stuff and then print it yourself, and it's just a cool, like, fun, creative community.
Love that.
I've been having fun just like looking through all the different kinds of things you can print. So, for example, I printed this. This is it's a little purple like kickstand that says Playdate on it, because it's a stand for the Playdate handheld console that I have.
Oh yeah.
So it like
your little little weird looking Game Boy thing. I love it.
Yeah, it's like the Game Boy with the crank. Yep. It's great. So I've got a little kickstand.
What's the crank for?
And I wanted a kickstand for it.
Is the crank like an input kind of thing, or is it like to charge it?
Yes. Yeah. No, it doesn't charge it. It's just a like, here's a fun, weird way of controlling games, and it's cool to see like, how people decide to use it.
I thought maybe it was
cool.
like one of those like emergency flashlights that you got to crank it to charge with the battery.
Yeah. I kind of wish it was almost, but no, it's cool. And it's super low powered because the screen's really nice and crisp, but it's not backlit and it's black and white. So the battery lasts forever.
Like the old Game Boys.
So what a lot of people do, yeah, basically, except the screen's a lot nicer. And it's rechargeable. And so what a lot of people do is they'll like just have their Playdate on their desk and use it as like a desk clock, basically. And so I made the kickstand, so I do that.
It's kind of like what I do with this guy.
Oh yeah, you've got your Zelda Game & Watch.
Yeah, that. It's not turned on right now. I haven't put charge on. Oh, it still has battery. It's kind of just a display piece right now, but shoot,
it's neat.
It fell out of the stand. I dropped it. I'm a fool.
Oh no. Right, so that's something I printed. I printed the guitar picks. I think my favorite thing that I printed so far is a modular multi-piece controller stand. So it's like a vertical stand for multiple controllers. Because I have a ton of game controllers that just kind of lay around, and on the little table next to my chair in the living room, a lot of space ends up getting taken up by remotes and controllers. So I wanted a way of organizing those better and optimizing that space. So I have like a tower basically that like stacks them up on top of each other, and it's real nice.
That's nice.
And it's also like you print them in individual pieces, and you can like combine them in whatever combination and order that you want, and you can. So I've got 3 controller holders, and on the back there's a smaller one for like basically like sort of a kickstand for a Bluetooth keyboard. So I've got those all in one place.
Love that.
I also printed out a little like TV remote holder, so it's got like 3 different holes in it. So I've got it for like all 3 of my remotes that I use for my TV are all like standing up instead of lying out in various places. So it's just nice to have like different ways of organizing things and keeping stuff cool and neat and safe and good. I like it. And here's another thing. This portion of the podcast is me just like talking about all the cool things I've 3D printed.
This is show and tell.
Another one of the things that yeah, it is. That's like half the podcast. Really, is just show and tell with whatever the thing is.
Yeah,
we're excited about this
week.
Yeah. There's a lot of like just kind of weird, fun little fidget toys and things you can 3D print. This is one that I saw and I was immediately like, I need to print this at some point. So this is Cube.
Yeah, I think I've seen these before.
As you can see, it looks like gears,
It's like
and
all
then if you
geary.
turn it,
Oh,
it's all gear. Oh, a part just fell off.
Shoot.
It's a little janky, but it rotates like that. Wow, it's really doing badly right now. Sometimes it's super smooth and fun, and other times it's like this and it's a disaster.
oh no!
But yeah, it's a really hard thing to describe like with words, but it's a cube that actually consists of several different parts that are interlocking gears, and you turn them, and it like looks all cool and like
it's real like mind
it
bendy.
rotates all around itself. Yeah, it's very cool.
I like it. I like it
that.
a lot.
And then here's another thing.
More things.
Of
Let's
course,
go.
I looked for like guitar related stuff because what I've liked doing is looking through all the like thing. What are some things that I can 3D print that are related to my other hobbies?
Yes.
So I had the controller stands for games, and for the Playdate stand, I had there's all sorts of like kickstands you can get for various controllers and consoles and handhelds and things, and that's cool. There's a bunch of guitar stuff, so like guitar picks, for example, but also like there are 3D printable like guitar stands, and you can 3D print a capo. There's all sorts of cool stuff.
Ooh.
There's also
I wonder how like good the capo would be. Like if it,
it's
like,
actually
did you do it?
I did not do it yet because it's a print that requires some other parts, because like most of it is just a 3D printed thing, but also in addition to that you need like a strip of rubber basically.
Oh yeah, okay.
To actually
I was wondering how that would work, because I know you do need like rubber or sometimes like a spring, or like depending if it's like a clamp or if it's like a strap or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. But it looks pretty good. But yeah, that's one I'd like to try at some point. But yeah, there's that. There's you can actually 3D print like. People have 3D printed guitars, just like the guitar body essentially is just nuts. Like 3D printed.
I saw somebody 3D printed a boat one time, like just like piece by piece, and they just like it was kind of like Legos that they super glued together, like but like the Lego bricks were like a foot cubed.
Yes.
Like a
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
it was really cool. I think I saw it on TikTok.
Cool. Yeah, so many cool things you could print. Another cool thing that I haven't printed, but I want to at some point, is speaking of video games and guitars, Guitar Hero controllers. There's an open source, like do-it-yourself 3D print your own Guitar Hero controller called the Polybar. It's like a little... Yeah,
it sounds like a Pokemon.
It's a tiny little kind of rectangular thing, but then you can also add other attachments on it to make it look more like a guitar or extend it out, or it's all very customizable.
So,
and cool.
It sounds like
that's something I want to do.
It would like evolve from Poliwag or something,
Poliwag, yeah, Poliwag evolves into Polytar. Yeah, so that's cool, and also let's see other stuff. There's lots of like 3D printable props and things there's a lot of, I was looking around online, and there's a lot of like lightsabers that you can like 3D print out the individual pieces of, and then like sand them down and assemble them together and make a like basically a screen accurate replica of various lightsabers. So like I found one that's like a sorry go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, have you seen twist sabers? Have you seen those?
I don't think so.
It's a 3D printable lightsaber where like you twist a part of it and the blade extends.
Ooh,
and it's like,
that's cool. I've seen the ones that are just like the kind of you flick it out, like a little plastic lightsaber. But
twist sabers, like they like sell the files form and stuff, but like you twist it and like the whole thing kind of like, and then you twist it.
That's cool.
It's
that's really
and
cool.
It's like longer typically than like your typical little flick out ones. And it looks
that's awesome.
So cool.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
I saw one that's like a. Like the files are available online for free for Ezra's first lightsaber, so the one that's also a blaster,
the Glock saber.
So I think that'd be a cool prop to, the Glock saber.
Yes.
Yeah, that. So that's cool. And then one other thing that I want to show off to Sam on the camera that you listeners at home can't see because it's is got
nerds.
Yeah. Screw you, nerds. There are 3D printable stands for various Lego sets. So for my, I've got my Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. It's a little it's like a sphere, like not a sphere, like a donut shaped sort of stand with a pillar in the back that has Lego studs on it. So I've got it poses. Yeah, it poses the N1 Starfighter in like a cool like flying position pose, and then on the base it's also got the Mandalorian logo, and it's got a little pegs to put the other minifigs on.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's really cool.
I need one because like Jack, you need this is my current Lego setup right now. Like they're all just kind of just chilling.
Yeah.
Just sitting
I
there.
think there are ones like specifically for like the Jedi Starfighter and the X-wing, and like I can like 3D print some for you and like send them to you.
Yeah, just let me know what the shipping costs and like your equipment costs and all.
The equipment cost is like it's like $2 maybe in terms of like filament, so it's like
well still
you pay like $20 for a single roll of filament that gets you through like a ton of different prints. Okay, so it's pretty.
Either way,
filament's pretty cheap. Yeah,
I want to take you up on it, but I also like don't want to just like just do it for me, please. It's a gift.
I can just do it for you. You're my friend. You're my bro.
I know, but
you're my co-host.
I am, but I'm not gonna take advantage of you like that.
Okay. But yeah, so that's been my 3D printing process. And the other aspect of the 3D printing that I've really been loving is like just like learning bit by bit little tricks of like, okay, this is, these are the settings you need to change in order to make your prints come out real nice, and these are the, tuning everything in to like just be precise and good. And like I got it took me like a week to kind of get everything fine-tuned, and now I can just print stuff and it comes out looking great.
That's awesome.
Whereas at first it kind of came out like it wasn't like quite sticking to the 3D print bed, and so it would kind of like the print would fail in the middle because it would like move around, or like it would warp on the bed because of like bad bed adhesion, or it would like come out really stringy. There'd be like lots of little kind of leftover bits on the sides of the print that I would kind of have to manually like tear off. But now I've got it all tuned in with the right speed and the temperatures and everything. Nice. And it just things just come out nice. It's good.
Sweet.
So that's been cool. I've also been like kind of slowly upgrading my setup. Not like the 3D printer itself, but like having like little tools and things. Like I bought like some sanding equipment and like a sort of little like a cheap respirator mask and some goggles for whenever I want to sand down the plastic.
Don't need to be inhaling microplastics. That'd be bad.
Exactly. And also yesterday I went to IKEA with a friend, and I got a little like a 3-tiered rolling metal cart that I have next to my 3D printer, so I have more storage space for things because I very quickly ran out of space for all my tools and stuff that I have over there. And then I also bought IKEA sells these pegboards that you can just hang on your wall and like have various they sell kind of like different hooks and bins and shelves and attachments for it, but also you can 3D print all those things. So like this specific like pegboard that IKEA sells has a lot of like community made free 3D printable accessories and shelves and stuff for it. So I'm excited to be able to like set that up and use that as like it's cool to use my 3D printer to make more things in order to make 3D printing stuff better and easier. Yeah. Like it's, I don't know, I'm building up my little workshop. It's nice, it's fun. I've been enjoying it.
Sweet.
So that's been cool.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. That sounds like so much fun.
Yes. Yeah. And like guitar, this is a hobby that like I always thought was cool, but I never would have like been willing to put in the amount of money required to like start the hobby. Yeah. But now that I have the main piece of equipment, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can dabble in this and see where it goes. And it's like, yeah, I never would have done this if I hadn't like had this opportunity by like just getting the thing like for free, which was super nice. So that's been good. But yeah, so and then that's 3D printing, and then beyond that there are a few video game related things.
Classic. Love it.
Number one, Star Wars Outlaws, the new big old AAA video game, came out since the last time we recorded. I have it. I've only played a few hours of it so far, so I'm not very far in. But I did want to talk about one thing, which is that like within the first like 30 minutes of the game, you are like walking down a hallway and there's a room to the side on like you start in Canto Bight, in like kind of the slums of Canto Bight, essentially, like the outskirts.
That's Canto Bight's Casino Planet, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Correct. And there's a room that you walk by that has a bunch of arcade cabinets in it that are playable arcade games.
What?
So video games are canon in Star Wars now, like legitimate video games, and not just like holo chess.
Oh, not just holo chess. I was gonna say video games have always been canon in Star Wars, but I guess holo chess is different.
Chess is different because it's just like chess, but like with holograms. Whereas this is like it looks like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Whereas this is like an actual like they look like arcade machines, and they play like the graphics of them look like kind of like late 70s, early 80s like vector graphics. So everything's like lines on a black background. And there's a few different.
Is it kind of like the targeting computer kind of thing?
Yeah. It's very similar aesthetically to that.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's like 3 different playable arcade mini games in that section, and they're just like basic high score style games, but they're like, I don't know, that's very cool to me.
That is really
video
cool.
Games are canon in Star Wars.
So you wrote in the script video games are canon now in the Star Wars universe. I'm like, was like Jedi Survivor not canon in Star Wars?
No, in the Star Wars universe
there are video games in Star Wars. Got it. Cool.
Yes,
cool.
in universe.
Great.
Yeah,
got it.
And maybe there were already like in comics or books or something, but as far as this is the first I've heard, and it's very cool. And this is definitely, as far as I know, the first instance of playable video games that you can actually play that are in the Star Wars universe. So that's cool. That's fun. So I need to get back into playing more of that. But so far it's a very pretty game. It nails the look and feel of the Star Wars universe, and it's gorgeous. And I got to play some arcade games, so that's neat.
I love that.
That's fun. That's Star Wars Outlaws.
Yay, Star Wars.
Another game that I played. It's coming out next year. There's a game called The Big Catch, and it is a 3D platformer collectathon style game. Think of like Banjo-Kazooie or Spyro or something like that.
Okay.
And it has like a very deliberate like PS1 era aesthetic, so it looks like a PS1 game.
Sweet.
Essentially. It's very cool. It's very well designed, and you play as a bird guy with a fishing pole, and the goal is to find all the fish and catch all the fish. Yeah.
Yes. Gotta catch them all.
And yeah, so there's this is The Big Catch. It comes out next year, but in the meantime, this year they came out with a demo called the Tacklebox.
Okay.
And it's like, first of all, it's not just a demo, it's actually a standalone like prologue to the main game. So it's a fully like standalone experience. It's like 7+ hours of content. It's like a game. It's like a full game. And it's really fun. That is a full game.
That's longer than like some of my favorite games.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's free. And it's so
like Portal's like a 3-hour game.
Portal's a little longer than that, but yeah, it's
yeah. Well, I beat it in 4.5 hours, so I just assumed like I'm take longer than average. So like 3, I don't know,
something like that. But yeah, no, it's incredible. I've been playing it like. Yeah, it's a really fun, very like tight platforming experience. You use your fishing pole to grab things from far away, like as a hook shot, but you also use it to like grapple and swing on things. And there's like wall running and wall jumps and lots of like precise platforming, and it's super fun.
Nice. Is this a Steam game?
It is a Steam game.
If only there was a way that I could play your Steam games. Or like
it's free, Sam. You could have played it anyway. But I appreciate your effort at making a transition into the next topic, which is there is so Steam for a long time. The PC gaming platform Steam has had a thing called family sharing, or like the idea being that like you can authorize different people to basically have access to your game library, and there's like a limited number of people, like 6 people or something.
Yeah.
But like the way it used to be is that, you know, you can give people access to your library, but only one person could be playing games from any given library at a time. So like, for example, Sam has had access to my Steam library for a while now, and, you know, he could play like Batman Arkham Asylum or something, but if I wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3, then you would like kick him off, basically.
It has before.
Oh, it has. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's your games.
You gotta tell me. Anyway,
Well,
but
I mean,
not anymore though.
Hey.
Because Steam just this week updated family sharing to where now you can add people to your. It's a whole kind of new setup the way that the system works. You add people to your family, and it's like up to 6 people in a family, and it's so you and Max and Gracie are in my family,
Let's go.
my Steam family, and they've updated it so that it's more like an actual game library where like if I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, Sam can also just play Batman Arkham Asylum if he wants. There's no limit in terms of like number of people playing from the same library at once. It's just, only one person can be playing however many copies are in that family's library. So like, for example, I and Max both own Baldur's Gate 3. So
2 of us
we
can
are
be playing
in the
at once.
same. Yes, 2 people could be playing Baldur's Gate 3 at once.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's cool because now we
like
have
this.
like we all have access to each other's libraries, and there's less of a like I don't have to worry about kicking anybody off,
Yeah.
So that's cool.
This is kind of like an unnecessary personal aside, but like
Okay.
I saw an email notification pop up, but I didn't open the email. Do I need to do anything about it?
Yes, you need to like accept. I basically invited you to it, and you just need to like click it. Like, yeah, I'll do that.
Because I know like we already have like the old library sharing. I just didn't know if I needed to click another thing. Yeah, because I saw that.
Yeah, you need to opt into this one. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because the email came up while I was at work, and I just didn't look at it. And because I was like, I am currently delivering mail. I don't have time to look at this right now. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I will do that probably later tonight.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about that, and I have access to. I mean, I by far have more games than anybody else who's in our Steam family, but I have access to some new games that I didn't have access to before. Like Gracie has a game called Satisfactory, which is like a sort of like a manufacturing like factory building game
Fun.
that I've been wanting to play for a while. That looks really cool, and Gracie has it, so now I can play it, assuming she's not playing it. Yeah.
Thanks, Grace.
So, thanks, Gracie.
And she
You listen
also
to our podcast, but whatever.
she like live tweeted in our like sibling group chat her playing Sonic Adventure 2, which was fun.
True. Yeah, because she has access to my library now, so she was playing Sonic Adventure 2, and she's like, this is harder than I remember.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot like buggier on Steam than it was on GameCube. I mean, it was buggy.
I think
it was buggy on GameCube.
I think it's just as buggy. We're just remembering it differently. We're remembering it through rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah. God, it's such a good game.
Yeah. It's very good.
I have the physical copy here at my house. Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
scratched.
It's
Scratched to high hell. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. But I have it. Like I can get to the loading screen and it says, "Oh, this doesn't work anymore. Try again."
Yeah. Can't gotta go fast anymore.
Yeah, gotta go fast.
But yeah, so yeah, those are the things kind of that I've been up to, the big things this past couple weeks. Sam, you have a job.
I do have
That's
a job.
Cool. We talked about that. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not really.
Sam,
I have no life.
you? Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I'm working 70 hours a week, I have no life. But things are kind of hopefully going to slow down a little bit, and then I can like.
Are you going to get like a route? Like a regular route for yourself at some point? Like,
so the way it works is I'm on my 90-day probation right now. So basically I just have to show up, do exactly what they say, do it well, and not get myself in trouble. And after 90 days, then I'm like a full-fledged regular employee, and I have like a lot more like job security at that point.
Okay, cool.
And then I get the benefits of being a regular with a route without necessarily having a route yet. And so one of those benefits is not having to work Sundays, and then also
nice.
a rotating day off beyond that.
Wait, you work Sundays?
Yeah, I work today. So
But
the
no,
United States
but no
Postal
post on
Service,
Sundays, Sam.
no post on Sundays. I know, but the Postal Service has a contract with Amazon where we deliver Amazon packages on Sunday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I delivered like 75 Amazon packages today.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a bunch.
it was a bunch.
Do you have? What's your has your schedule been like? Have you had any days off? Like, has that been?
No. Well, yes, but not in the last week. I haven't had a day off. So so my first week, I worked 4.5 days. My second week, I worked 4 days. And then I am in week 3 going into week 4. I showed up on Monday. I worked like 9 hours on Monday, 9 hours on Tuesday, 9 hours on Wednesday. So, and like, and basically go through until Sunday, I work 6 hours. It was nice. And then tomorrow, I'll probably work 9 hours. And then Tuesday, I have off. It's going to be nice.
Ooh.
Yep, I get a day off on Tuesday.
Yay.
And then it's back at it again.
Gotcha.
So I'm probably going to get like
Yeah.
1 day off every like week or 2.
That's rough.
For like the next 90
I'm
days. Or I guess the next 75 days or whatever math says. Around Thanksgiving is when my 90 days is up.
That's right on your birthday.
Yep. And then we get into holiday mandatory overtime. Yay!
Oh, cool. That's
yeah.
Well.
So
are you feeling better about this job than you did about the other?
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so much better. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, benefits are cheaper. Benefits are better. I don't have to think about work when I get home, beyond the fact that my feet hurt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That is nice. That is like, not having to think about work when you get home.
And then when I'm working, when I'm there, I'm actually working. I'm actually doing stuff. There's stuff to do. I feel productive because I'm being productive. And then at the end of the day, I clock out and I'm done. I don't have to worry about it because I'm not getting paid anymore. That's one of the perks of like being hourly over salaried is like your salary, we can just work you. If the job's not done, the job's not done. You're going to get paid the same. Just get it done. But I'm hourly now. And I'm like, if you want to pay me to do it, I'll do it. But if you don't want to pay me to do it, I'm not going to do it. So, it's nice. And it's a union job. Yeah. Gotta love unions. Unions are good.
Heck yeah.
Yep. I'm probably going to, at some point, who knows when, they've been in contract negotiations for over 500 days now. But we're supposed to get a big cost of living adjustment and a raise on top of that.
Oh, cool.
Once
nice.
Once
that happens.
Yeah, once that happens. But they've been at the negotiating table for over 500 days. The Postal Service has a no strike clause in our like thing because like people getting the mail is in the Constitution, so we can't like deny them the mail.
I guess so.
Yeah. So we don't strike, but yeah. We just need. Our union needs to do things, and they're not doing things right now. But the things that they've already done are nice, and I get those.
That's good.
Yeah. But we're supposed to get like a pretty hefty raise, which I'm looking forward to, because like what I'm getting paid now is like more than I was getting paid at my old job.
So this will be
It'll be great. Like we're the thing. I'm like, yeah, everyone's probably gonna get like a $2 raise, like just or $3 or something like pretty substantial. Like right off the bat, I'm like, yeah,
that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That's like $4,000 a year. That's big.
Yay.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's what we've been up to last couple weeks. We do have quite a bit of news to catch up on.
So much Star Wars news.
Yeah. First up, some very unfortunate news. James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, among many other things, has died at age 93.
It's a good life. Good run.
Yeah, no, that's. I'm glad that he, was around as long. Like that's a good life, man. But like, it's still a bummer because he James Earl Jones did so much just to define the character of Darth Vader for such a long time. And
I learned this week that James Earl Jones also played a major role, at least in name, in defining like preschool television.
Really?
Yeah. So in 1969, James Earl Jones was on Sesame Street, and he did this.
I did know that.
Yeah. So he recited the alphabet on Sesame Street, and like it was kind of like a proof of concept in like basically interactive television. And so basically what they would do is he was saying the alphabet, and the letter would pop up on screen, then he would wait for a second and look at you, and then he would say the letter. And the next letter would pop up on screen, wait for you, and then he would say the next letter. It's kind of this like anticipatory kind of like, which is like where we get like this all the stuff like Blue's Clues of like where Steve would like say, can you help me? And like talking to the camera, like that is like often called the James. Yeah, it's called the James Earl Jones effect. Apparently, at least that's what Sesame Street says. It's called the James Earl Jones. Yeah. I sent you a TikTok about it, but you're never on TikTok. But it's...
I'm not on TikTok because I get sent too many TikToks.
Sorry. It's my fault.
It's okay.
I've created a monster.
You have.
I have. But yeah, so the James Earl Jones effect is like how preschool television works. At least in terms of educational, interactive television. So,
that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Just a few quick facts about James Earl Jones, just to go through a bit of other things about him, other than he's Darth Vader, which is why we're talking about him
and his contributions to preschool television.
Yes, and that. So he is one of the few performers to have earned an EGOT, which means he got an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Yeah, there's like less than 24 of those.
Yeah, the EGOT Wikipedia page says 21 people have achieved competitive EGOT status, and 6 others have done so with honorary or special awards. James Earl Jones, his first film appearance was in Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, which I did not know.
I didn't either.
And he, of course, was Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars and all the original trilogy, and in Rogue One, and in Revenge of the Sith, and in some Star Wars Rebels season 2, right? So most of like the big, like all the big instances of Vader, he's been the voice of. Beyond that, he's the voice of the "This Is CNN" thing on CNN. Yeah,
I don't watch enough CNN to know
This is CNN. I know it because I've heard it before, but I feel like I knew that because I read it about James Earl Jones at one point forever ago. So less that I watch CNN, and more
you
that
also
I
majored in
about this guy.
Film and TV, so it makes sense that you know that too.
I took 0 television classes, but
your degree is radio, TV, film, so TV is right
true,
there.
It does. Yeah, he's Mufasa in The Lion King, both the original and the quote unquote live action version.
The live CG action.
Yeah. He was in The Sandlot. He was, of course, in Field of Dreams, famously.
Yes.
And he's just an amazing actor. And it was cool seeing like on threads and Twitter the few days after he died, just a lot of people sharing things that they love about him and specific performances and things, and just a giant of film and television and theater, and definitely one of the most important and defining literally voices in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So rest in peace, Mr. James Earl Jones. You will be missed.
Indeed.
Dearly.
Yeah, him and Carl Weathers both passed away this year.
Was that this year?
I think so. It was like it's early in the spring, but yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, it was Carl. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's yet another Star Wars actor. Yeah. February 2nd is when Carl Weathers died.
Yeah,
this year.
There it is.
So that's probably the biggest piece of like Star Wars news, unfortunately. Some other stuff. This month marks 10 years since the start of the Disney canon of Star Wars, because the novel A New Dawn, which was a prequel novel to Star Wars Rebels, was the first thing Disney released that was like part of the new canon after they reestablished things.
That's when A New Dawn
came out 10 years ago this month.
Nice.
So that's just a cool kind of milestone.
Yeah.
It's so I realized the other day that like next year The Force Awakens will be 10 years old. Whoa. Which is nuts to me. Like how did that happen? That was
there's like I can probably count on one hand the number of like trailers that I have like beat for beat memorized because I watched them so many times because I was so excited about those movies. The Force Awakens is one of them.
Yes, right. That the first like teaser trailer where it's like
where Finn pops up like on the sands of Jakku,
and then they have BB-8 and and then it ends with the Falcon doing that big flip through the air.
Man.
And, what an amazing trailer! Just
the things that trailer did to my brain. Like,
yes,
like I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast if that hadn't like reawoken my love for Star Wars. like my senior.
I know,
college.
it kind of was that trailer, wasn't it? Yeah. I was like, I remember watching that trailer and being like my heart was like tightening up. I was like, oh my god, Star Wars is back. It's real again.
Yeah, I remember
it was just so exciting.
My senior year of college that trailer came out, and I was in a youth ministry class at Franciscan, and me and my buddy Nick, like we both got to class about 5 minutes early, and he's like, dude, they dropped a new trailer for the new Star Wars movie, and I don't think I even knew that there was a new Star Wars movie coming out, and I was just like, there's a new Star Wars movie, what the hell? And so we watched it on his iPhone in like our classroom, and I just like remember just like having chills the entire time. Like it was just like, and then I probably watched it like 6 more times that day. Yeah, it was I was so unreasonably excited about that trailer, and then I guess all the other stuff happened with the sequel trilogy, but yeah. Did you hear any of that? Because my internet crashed for a second.
I heard the beginning of it and the end of it where you said the sequel trilogy. Yeah. But whatever. It recorded on your end.
It did.
So that's all that matters.
It did. Yeah. So yeah. No. Essentially, I was like, I don't remember being that excited about a trailer in a long. Like the last time I've been that excited about a trailer was the Dark Knight trailer.
Yes.
Like with with like. It like opens up with it's the opening scene from the movie where you see the Joker holding a Joker mask, like about to like walk into the bank to like rob the bank or whatever it was. Like, and you hear that iconic like violin like drone and just like ooh. Those two trailers are like have affected my brain more than probably any other film trailers, just because they're just like just like I had that trailer saved to my iPod video. And I was on a school trip and like was like in my like we're like at like the school we were staying at for the night, and like I like was like in my sleeping bag on my cot with my headphones in watching that trailer on repeat because I was just like so amped about this movie. And I did the same thing with the Force Awakens trailer.
There's something about a well-edited trailer that is just gosh, like there's almost nothing else like it. Just like the sheer like concentrated like hype and like just all the like it's about taking all like the best, most exciting moments and teasing you with it as best you can in as short amount of time as you can. And like a well-edited trailer is just it freaking sets my brain on fire.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Maybe it's just because I haven't been excited about a movie in a long time. Like, there hasn't been like a movie that's like I've been that pumped about recently. But I haven't watched a trailer that's like done those things to my brain in a long time, because I feel like all trailers kind of feel the same now.
The one example I always go back to of a trailer that like of a relatively recent trailer that kind of gave me chills was for a movie that I actually haven't seen because it didn't get great reviews, but Godzilla King of the Monsters, it was the sequel to the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. It's a gorgeous, amazing trailer, and it has like this amazing epic version of Claire de Lune playing in the background through it, and it's just it's beautiful. Anyway, so I'll see that movie eventually probably, but apparently it's not amazing. But the trailer was incredible.
Now I just want to watch Godzilla -1 again.
Yes. Speaking of which, it is actually coming out on Blu-ray and 4K in November, so we have like an actual release date now. Happy birthday to me. Yes, happy birthday to Sam. Godzilla -1. God, what's an amazing movie.
Godzilla -1, I think it might be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of movies, I bought a ticket to see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in concert on my birthday. So on Halloween here in Austin, they're going to be showing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at the Long Center with like a full orchestra and also like DJs and electronic instruments and stuff, like playing all the music.
That's so cool.
So I'm very excited about that. Really? Oh man, it's incredible. It's definitely a part one, but like if you go into it knowing that it's a part one, it is one of the best movies like that I've ever seen. It's amazing. I love it. So definitely highly recommend that. So yeah, let's see what else is going on in Star Wars. Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy has come out. It came out this past Friday. I have not watched it yet, Sam. Have you seen any of it?
I've watched. It's a 4-part thing. I've watched the first 2 parts.
Okay. What are your thoughts so far? Spoiler free.
It's okay so far. I like it. It's fun.
Cool.
It's very. It's like very like. It's very Lego Star Wars. So, I mean, it's kind of like. It kind of like has Muppety humor, which is fun.
Yeah.
But Star Wars, and it's just very like. There have been a lot of pointed jokes at the sequel trilogy that I've really appreciated. Like I mean, like they're just like, dude, you're waking up the Force. Like they're just like making fun of like the Force Awakens is like I can feel the Force awakening in me. Like just like a lot of those kind of things. Just like it's very silly, very silly. But yeah, at the end of the second episode, this isn't too much of a spoiler, but like Darth Jar Jar shows up, and that's where I'm at. Is that like Darth Jar Jar has just shown up. Yeah, it's fun. I'm probably gonna finish it after we log off here, because I mean it's just it's 4 like 25-minute episodes, and I was planning on finishing it all last night, but I started it at like 9:30 or 10, and now that I'm like physically working for a living, I can't stay like past 11 anymore. I'm just like done. So, but I didn't work as hard today, so maybe I can stay up a little later and watch it.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it at some point. I was hoping to get it watched before this recording, but I got busy with doing other things.
Yeah, it's fun and silly and fun.
That's what I expect, and that's what I want. Yeah, so I'm excited to watch that, and also I'm also just as excited about all the different Lego sets they're releasing for this. I want to get at least one of them. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And then one other thing that happened in Star Wars is Ewan McGregor got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Hayden Christensen gave a little speech there.
He did?
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah, he said like I didn't actually watch the speech, but I saw it. He said like he's the best Jedi Master a guy could ask for, basically. Which is
well,
real
he
sweet.
is.
So I mean, yeah, of course.
That's true. It's accurate.
So yeah, that's neat. Congrats, Ewan McGregor. And also,
I forget who said it. I think Jason was the one who like said the joke to me or something. But like, yeah, that Hayden Christensen also needs to walk in the Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but it has to be lower than Hayden Christensen.
One lower. yeah. Exactly.
Because Ewan McGregor needs the high ground. Is the joke?
Yes. Yeah. I got it.
I know you got it.
I got it.
I want to make sure that the listeners in Listenerland got the joke.
All the way off
this
there.
This is an inclusive podcast check.
It's true. Yes. We explain all our jokes for the sake of all our listeners, so everybody can enjoy them.
It makes them more funny.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. Yeah. Anyway, I guess one other thing that just occurred to me that I don't know that we've talked about on the podcast is we got an actual trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
We did.
Which is, yeah, we got to hear Keanu Reeves as Shadow. It looks beautiful. It's I'm very excited. It's gonna be great.
It's very good. I understand why they went with Keanu Reeves for Shadow. He's a very good Shadow the Hedgehog. I am sad it's not Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, oh well.
But it makes sense that it's Keanu Reeves.
Yes. This has been a very brief iteration of our sub-podcast, Got a Podcast.
Ding!
All right. Well, is there anything else we didn't want to talk about before we get into our main segment this week, Sam?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think you're right. I think we should just talk about it. Our Star Wars that we're doing, that we're talking, that we're having fun with, that we're
Let's do a Star War.
Let's do a Star War. So this week, as we said before, we're talking about the Clone Wars Season 4, Episodes 17 and 18, The Box and Crisis on Naboo. And this is the second half of the arc where Obi-Wan goes undercover as Rico Hardeen.
We get lots of morale we file.
Where does this episode take place in the timeline, Sam?
20 BBY.
Cool. These two episodes are really fun. It's a great pair of episodes. Lots of cool
It
things happening.
Episodes.
Okay, so the box. The moral of this episode is the strong survive, the noble overcome. An impenetrable defense. Obi-Wan Kenobi in disguise, working undercover as assassin Reiko Hardeen. Obi-Wan leads a secret mission to uncover the Separatist plot against Chancellor Palpatine. Using cunning and courage, he gains the trust of bounty hunter Cad Bane and criminal mastermind Moralo Eval, earning him entrance into the stronghold of Separatist leader Count Dooku. Now, it is here, on the beautiful planet of Sereno, that a barbaric contest will determine the fate of Obi-Wan Kenobi and possibly the Republic itself.
You know, criminal mastermind it's pretty generous.
He made a big box though, Sam. He's a criminal mastermind.
I can make a big box. It's 6 sides. It's not that hard.
Shut up. Moralo Eval is a criminal mastermind.
Moralo Eval. You just need 4 TVs, a roof, and like some flamethrowers. That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah. All right. The trio, consisting of the disguised Obi-Wan, Moralo Eval, and Cad Bane, arrive at Castle Sereno on Sereno, where the Count himself welcomes them, although the latter chastises Eval for his delay. From the Count, Obi-Wan and Bane learn that a contest is about to take place, and the two of them are invited to participate. The participants already on site include some of the galaxy's most successful and notorious bounty hunters. Next to Bane and Obi-Wan's disguise template are Embo!
Embo.
Love Embo. When are we getting Embo a Star Wars story? Come on, Disney.
Please.
Embo, Deraun, Twazi, Sixtat, Jacoli, Mantu, Kiera Swan, Sinrich, and Anka, whose brother was just moments before murdered by Bane for his hat. Which is great. I love that Cad Bane kills a man just because he likes his hat. He's like, I want your hat. Give it to me.
But
It's great.
Cad Bane, I lost a little respect because that hat was much lamer than the one he had already. Cad Bane had a cooler hat.
I think Cad Bane just has a thing for novelty. He's like, oh, this hat's gotten old. I need a new one.
Yeah. And also, the hat was his thing. He needs to be the one that has the hat. No one else can have the hat. That's his thing.
That's true. He was like, no, I'm the hat guy here.
Yeah. Embo's the exception because he's got like Captain America's shield on his head.
That's cool. Yes, it's a different kind of hat. It's a helmet. It's a shield helmet surfboard thing.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a cool little like sequence where like Dooku kind of goes one by one, like giving a short introduction of all of these different bounty hunters, and they all have like, you know, different like cool designs and like a little bit of a backstory, or like this person is like, you know, had more bounties than anybody else last year, or this guy invented such and such device, or you know, like it was a cool little like, you know, going down the roster of all these this motley crew here. You know, it's cool. Unarmed, all of them are unarmed. All of them are to face a life and death challenge in the box, a huge floating structure designed by Eval and filled with death traps. And only the first 5 survivors will be chosen for the task Dooku has in store for them, in return for a handsome reward. Meanwhile, in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, Anakin Skywalker's suspicions about Obi-Wan are in the meantime confirmed by none other than Master Yoda himself, who apologizes for the deception, but also makes it clear that due to Anakin's temper, it would become too dangerous for Obi-Wan to involve himself in the mission. Once they have been transferred into the box, the contestants meet their first challenge, dioxis gas seeping from the floor. The bounty hunters race to the rising platforms, believing that they will be safe from the poison if they stay high enough. However, the platforms continue to rise, threatening to crush the bounty hunters. Obi-Wan correctly deduces that the escape route is beneath them, and using his helmet's filters, discovers the exit. All the bounty hunters follow Obi-Wan and take no casualties. They soon arrive for the second challenge, where they must escape the room. Eval starts the challenge and sends out horizontal columns with a laser spike tip, which seemingly move at random. Obi-Wan notices that the columns move in a pattern to allow the bounty hunters to escape from the exit located at the ceiling. While most of the bounty hunters manage to follow Obi-Wan's lead, Anka, Swan, and Sinrich are killed. Dooku notices that Hardeen is carrying everyone and tells Eval to watch him closely. The group arrives for the third challenge as a serum appears before the bounty hunters. Eval tells them that for this third challenge, one of them must take the serum and deactivate the ray shield cage. However, the serum is toxic to all but one of them. Eval raises the platform and the ray shield, electrocuting Jacoli, who is caught off guard. Derone goes for the serum, but is stopped by Bane. However, Obi-Wan allows Derone to take the serum as the physiology of his race should allow him to survive the serum's effects. Derone moves through the ray shield and manages to deactivate the switch, though Mantu is killed in the process. The contestants proceed to the final challenge, where Eval explains to them that they must shoot a moving holographic target with a sniper rifle. If they miss one shot, then they will be killed by the pop-up flamethrowers below. Sixtat volunteers himself and lands the first few shots. However, he misses the final one, prompting Eval to drop him to his doom as the others watch. Obi-Wan then volunteers himself. However, Eval, now jealous of Hardeen's successes, deceptively loads Obi-Wan's rifle with 4 shots while demanding that he shoot down 5. Obi-Wan realizes the deception too late, and Eval attempts to drop him to his doom. Bane, now having newfound respect for Obi-Wan and disgusted by Eval's cowardice in killing him, saves him with his whipcord, demanding that he kill him off like a man. Dooku, also aware of Eval's cowardice, wishes to see him fight too, and forces the Findi into the arena. Eval fights dirty by using probe droids and altering the arena into a small maze, but Obi-Wan destroys his control bracelet. Dooku demands that Hardeen kill Eval, but he refuses, stating that he just wants to get his money. Dooku is disappointed by his refusal. Nevertheless, he and his surviving compatriots are declared winners of the challenge and are entrusted with the Count's plan to kidnap Supreme Chancellor Palpatine as he goes to visit Naboo and hold him hostage in exchange for the release of the Separatist leaders who have been captured by the Republic in the course of the war. Dooku assigns Bane to be the strike team's leader after witnessing Eval's lack of combat skills and Hardeen's apparent reluctance to kill off his opponents. End of this episode. This is a cool episode. So there's like a fun, like cool, high concept sci-fi, like almost video gamey sort of situation. I like high concept sort of bottle episode type stories.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and fun fact, this episode was inspired by a 1997 science fiction horror thriller film called Cube. Which it's kind of it's a similar premise. Like a bunch of people are inside a big old cube with various traps and things. So I want to watch that at some point because it sounds interesting and I'm curious. Yeah. So
nice.
That's neat.
It is neat.
All right, let's move on to the next episode, the final episode of this arc, Crisis on Naboo. Sam, would you like to give us the moral and the plot summary?
I would love to. The moral of this episode is trust is the greatest of gifts, but it must be earned. Supreme Chancellor in peril. After surviving the ordeals of the box, Obi-Wan Kenobi, working undercover as assassin Rako Hardeen, is invited to join Count Dooku's plot against Chancellor Palpatine. Working with a team of deadly bounty hunters, Obi-Wan travels to the planet of Naboo, where the Chancellor will preside over the Festival of Light. Now, as the Jedi Council and Count Dooku finalize their respective plans, a deadly confrontation seems inevitable. In the Jedi Temple, the members of the Jedi High Council, along with Anakin and Ahsoka, discuss the security measures for Chancellor Palpatine's visit to Naboo for its traditional Festival of Light. Mace Windu and Yoda have since disclosed to the others that Obi-Wan is still alive and in disguise, infiltrating Count Dooku's plot to strike against and kidnap the Chancellor. Anakin proves confident and determined to see that the mission is done, but perhaps a little too much, earning him concerned glances from Windu, Yoda, and Ahsoka. In the meantime, Count Dooku, Moralo Eval, and Cad Bane and his team, consisting of Obi-Wan Embo, Derone, and Twazi, claim possession of a small hangar in Theed by murdering the mechanics inside. The group congregates, and Bane proceeds to assign his fellow members individual roles in the plot. Derone is to take down the deflector shield and erect for the Chancellor's protection. Eval is to provide the getaway transport, Embo and Twazi, disguised as Senate guards, are assigned to escort the Chancellor, and a disguised Obi-Wan is to provide cover fire and incapacitate the Chancellor with a sniper blaster. A special mapping device is issued to each of them to lead them to the rendezvous point once the mission has been complete, and a special holographic disguise matrix is used to make them appear as Senate guards. But as they leave for their posts, Dooku takes Bane aside for a moment and advises him to keep a special lookout for Hardeen, of whom the Count has grown suspicious. Finally, Palpatine and his escort, which includes Windu, Anakin, and Ahsoka, arrive in Theed, where the Chancellor is welcomed by Queen Nyunti, and a group of esteemed galactic senators, among them Naboo's own representative Padme Amidala and C.O. Bibble, governor of Naboo. I also noticed C.O. Bibble. I also noticed that Senator Organa was there as well.
Yes, indeed.
While the security is in place, Palpatine shows a little concern for the Count's imminent strike and in worry of Padme's safety. Anakin assigns Ahsoka to accompany his wife and the Queen while he takes his place in the mission's front line. While assuming his position, Obi-Wan is finally able to contact Windu and inform him of the important elements of the Count's plan. On that evening, Naboo and their Senate guests gather at the royal palace to perform the initiation of the festival, with Bane infiltrating the crowd holographically disguised as an Neimoidian. However, when Dooku's operation commences and Daron prepares to disable the deflector shield generator, Obi-Wan gives a warning to Windu, but he and Anakin are unable to prevent the shield's deactivation or Daron's escape. Obi-Wan attempts to prevent the latter, disabling Daron's jetpack, but his blaster is only charged for one shot. The Chancellor is knocked out by the shield generator's explosion, and amidst the resulting confusion, Embo and Twazi make Palpatine look like a fallen Senate guard with a holographic matrix, while Twazi takes on the Chancellor's appearance. Anakin and Windu intercept the two and fall for the ruse, whilst Bane and Eval make their escape with the unconscious Chancellor. As the only one closest to the kidnappers, Obi-Wan commandeers a speeder and follows Bane and Eval to the rendezvous point, where their escape ship is waiting, though Dooku apparently is not. When Obi-Wan arrives, he claims custody of the Chancellor at gunpoint, triggering a vicious fight against Bane. Obi-Wan eventually overpowers the two criminals and hands them over to authorities who just arrived, along with Anakin and Windu. And when his true name is revealed by Windu, Bane swears bitter revenge against the Jedi. The next morning, Palpatine and the Jedi prepare to return to Coruscant. But even though the kidnapping was successfully thwarted, Anakin is still furious at Obi-Wan and the Jedi Council for having withheld the truth from him, even if this was meant to convince Dooku of Hardeen's sincerity. An angry comment of his, however, triggers a suspicion in Obi-Wan, and before shedding his disguise, he returns to his position from the previous night and finds an activated comm device in his sniper blaster's case, meaning that Dooku had not shown because he had listened in on Obi-Wan's comm calls to Windu. In fact, the Count awaits Palpatine and Anakin in an ambush, which was subtly arranged by Palpatine in order to draw out Anakin's frustrations and anger to their fullest and thus make him pass to the dark side of the Force for good. Anakin dispatches the two Magna Guards that accompany Dooku quickly, but when Palpatine tries to run away at Anakin's orders, a third Magna Guard intercepts him and holds him in place. Both watch as Anakin and Dooku duel across the halls, Darth Sidious observing with pleasure as Anakin gives in to his anger. And although Anakin holds Dooku down for a few seconds, Dooku manages to overpower him with Force Lightning. Obi-Wan, however, catches up to Anakin, and together they manage to thwart Dooku's plan once again, destroying the lone Magna Guard, rescuing Palpatine, forcing Dooku to throw Anakin off his ship, ending the duel, leaving empty-handed and escaping in the shuttle, while Palpatine thanks the Jedi for their timely rescue. He makes an expression of mock concern about what the galaxy would become if the Jedi were no more. End of the arc.
Die. This was a neat episode because there was just like so many sort of layers to it and twists and turns. I like the fact that the plan that they have to kidnap Palpatine is like so well thought out. Like the whole like kind of switcheroo with the bodies and the like all the different disguises was very smart, and
it was very, very smart.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. This was like such a surprisingly good episode. The action was really good, and then I wasn't expecting a lightsaber duel between Anakin and Dooku at the end, and it was kind of like meant as a precursor for the fight that we see in Revenge of the Sith, and it kind of had a lot of the same kind of like things like influences going on, and like whatever, like not influences but like motives behind the fighting and stuff, and like with Palpatine egging Anakin on to fight Dooku and all this stuff. Like it was really, really good. It was a cool thing.
There's a moment where we see like where Anakin is like overpowering Dooku, and we see Palpatine has like this evil smile on his face. He's like, yes, do it. Like like he's happy that like that Anakin is clearly overpowering him, and like not just force choking him, but just like physically choking him with his hand, like directly. Like one thing I wanted to like ask about was like, it's interesting to me that like this whole plot was about kidnapping Palpatine, and then like what was Dooku gonna like, what was he gonna do? Were they just like what was his, I don't know. It just like,
right. I was thinking the same thing.
Idea was that they were
because like because if Dooku's plan to kidnap Palpatine makes sense if he doesn't realize that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, but he does.
But he definitely does.
He definitely does. Like there's zero doubt about that. So like what? So like there has to be some sort of like deeper like, and I think that deeper like, I think Anakin is the whole like, he's the target of this plot. I think of. But I don't know if Dooku realized it. I think Dooku just thinks that. Dooku just thinks that he's just trying to make a fool of the Jedi, and like maybe just throw like the Republic into disarray by like the Chancellor's been kidnapped. Like he just like thinks like this is gonna happen because the Chancellor's gonna let it happen.
Yeah, or prolong the war by like, you know. Their plan was ostensibly that they were going to kidnap Palpatine and then hold him for ransom until they released like separatist leaders. So maybe that was just another way of like,
it's just like getting their separatist leaders out. But I think Palpatine was like, this is never going to work, but it's going to push Anakin further to me. So I think from Palpatine's perspective, this is all just he thought this might have been the tipping point for Anakin. Yeah.
There's a moment when Anakin is talking to Obi-Wan. Like basically for the first time after all this has ended, and you know Anakin is clearly very like, he's mad, he's upset that like he wasn't trusted to know that, you know, Obi-Wan was actually alive the whole time. And there's a line where he says something like, this is just another example of the council not trusting me again, like, and the council keeping things from me, and like, how do you know that the council isn't keeping things from you? And you know, it's very clear that this is a big moment in, you know, Anakin's continued like turning against the council and mistrust of the Jedi as an organization. Like I feel like the fact that like this is this arc is a really big deal, I think, for Anakin's character development. The fact that like his master died after, you know, Anakin is somebody who has lost so many important people to him in his life repeatedly, and the fact that he lost Obi-Wan, like, and believed that for a while, like, and then found out that it wasn't true, that he was just lied to the whole time, like, that's a huge blow to him, I would think, emotionally, and like in terms of his ability to trust the Jedi. Yeah, because like fear of loss of someone incredibly close to him is what drives him to the dark side. Right, yes. Like Palpatine already knows that like this is what's going to drive him to the dark side. He's just like, I guess, like thinks it's Obi-Wan at first, but then realizes like, oh, actually no, Padme is more important, because then he kind of figures that out, or at least reveals that he's figured it out in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. So, but yeah, this ends up being a more, I think, important and relevant. Like it's a cool arc with a lot of cool things that happen, but it's also like very character like important as well. Like it's especially for Anakin. Yeah. And one aside that I know if we don't mention it, Dad's going to. We get the Camry in this episode. We do, yes. We had the Galactic Camry.
The Galactic Camry.
Jedi shuttle, yeah.
Yep, the Jedi T6 shuttle.
Yeah, I really want the Lego set of that. That's like, that's the other,
same.
like, the one, like, major Lego, like, ship set that I want is that one. So I have the N1 Starfighter, I have the Ghost. Those were kind of the two, like, ones that were most important to me personally. That I just like the design of and that are important to me, like, just as what they are and what they represent. But also, I want the T6 because it's such a cool design, and because we have this running joke about it too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. There was a cool moment where like they're doing like fireworks on Naboo in Theed for this like festival of lights that is what Palpatine is supposed to be presiding over. And the fireworks are really cool. They like make different shapes and things. It's almost like a cross between fireworks and a laser show or like a drone show,
Yeah.
And I'm looking in the continuity section, and it says one of the fireworks that Palpatine launches resembles the Star Wars opening crawl. I do remember seeing that. There's like a there's like it's like a series of lines in kind of like a half hexagon. There's a name for it. A trapezoid. Yeah, it's kind of like a bunch of lines in like a trapezoid shape, so it looks like the Star Wars opening crawl. I was like, that's a nice detail.
I missed that. I noticed that a lot of the kind of like, because like the shapes also move in kind of an animated way, and a lot of it like kind of like that fast, like there's just a lot of like fast kind of snapping into place kind of thing, and it resembled a lot of like kind of like the like advertisements you see in the background, like on Coruscant or like at like the Boon to Eve classic, right? Like it's just kind of like very much kind of like that's just a very like I don't know, but it like it's Star Wars' version of like billboards like in Times Square kind of thing. Like that's just like what everything looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was cool. I also thought it was a really cool like just visually, aesthetically, going back to Naboo and seeing kind of an area of Theed that we hadn't really seen before. It was gorgeous.
Like, I love Naboo. Naboo's so pretty.
Yeah, like both the exteriors, like and the kind of the evening when they're out on that like where Palpatine's giving his speech and everything like that. That whole area is gorgeous, and also like them going inside and the fight between Dooku and Anakin in that kind of dining hall with like the tall wooden chairs and everything like that. It was very like kind of regal and like it's always nice to get some like visual variety in Star Wars.
I just realized that's a callback to Episode 5 on Cloud City with
Darth when the door opens and Vader's
Darth
there
Vader waiting in the banquet room.
Yes, I didn't notice that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just made that connection while we were talking. Yeah,
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that this episode, like, it felt like it could have ended earlier, and then we get the extra twist, and then another lightsaber fight. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely took the episode, like, to the next level.
Yeah. Cool. This was a fun arc. This was a good arc.
It was. Dick, do you have a favorite part of this arc? At least this half of the arc? Because this is part 2 of the...
other than just Embo being cool.
Embo.
I love Embo.
And Morale Val.
Morale Val. Yeah, the coolest one, Morale Val.
Yeah, everyone's favorite, Morale Val.
I do love Morale Val as a character because he's just such a character, and he's got like
objectively
I love
silly.
his voice and his like his way of speaking. I just kind of he's always like third person referring to himself. It's always fun.
Yeah, he's the most cartoony of all of them.
Please don't kill Morale Val.
Yeah,
it's great. I think my favorite, like, honestly, I think maybe the lightsaber battle at the end, just because it kind of comes out of nowhere and it's like fun and cool, and yeah, that was cool.
It's so cool. That's definitely my favorite as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fun. Sam.
Yes.
Who do you think is the MVP this time around?
Obi-Wan. It's Obi-Wan, right?
I'm just Recco Hardin.
Recco Hardin. Remember, his helmet is early concept art for Boba Fett. That's what it's inspired by.
I love that helmet. It looks really cool.
It's so great. Cool.
Honestly, his whole outfit is like, it's great. I love it.
Yep. Good old Ralph McQuarrie.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, that's definitely our MVP. Main character kills. Let's see. Does Cad Bane kill anybody? Yeah, he kills one of the bounty hunters. He kills the brother. Cad
Bane's got one kill. He killed the brother for the hat.
And then does Dooku kill anybody? Like,
I don't think so.
I'm not going to count box kills because it's like it's hard to like attribute like, you know, who killed who for like, you know, the box killed those people. The box has a bunch of chaos.
It was the box ghost. The box ghost.
I am the box ghost.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll give one to
the box ghost.
Cad Bane. Yeah, to the box ghost. More Star Wars is better Star Wars. How does this arc make the movies and the rest of Star Wars better? We kind of talked about it already. Again, like the tends down
like
a lot,
we always do.
Yeah, but just like the continued like sowing of mistrust between Anakin and the Council, and the continued manipulation of Palpatine towards Anakin, and yeah. Also, we get more Embo, which is always cool.
Embo.
Yeah. So, and Cad Bane gets another hat. Yeah. This is a good arc. This is fun. I'm glad we watched this. Indeed. It was good. Not that we weren't going to watch it, but we did, and I enjoyed it. So.
Oh, yeah. Jack.
Yeah?
We have not one.
What?
Not two. Not three.
What? I'm sorry, what?
4 voicemails from Jason.
Okay, all right, here we go. Is it, you know what, maybe he called in while we were recording this because he could sense that you were drinking his tears. And you were...
no, these were like from 2.5 weeks ago.
Wow, okay.
Jack and Sam, question for your next podcast episode. You guys are talking a lot about the movie shows of Star Wars. Let's pause. Actually, not pause, but my question is directed more towards video games. Like, what would you guys say are, I'll say, your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars games? I mean, you've got a plethora. You've got, like, Battlefront, Battlefront 2. You've got the remakes of Battlefront and Battlefront 2. You've got Knights of the Old Republic. You've got Knights of the Old Republic 2. You've got Star Wars Rogue Squadron. You got, like, Jedi Academy. There's a ton. And that's not even to mention Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. And then on top of that, you've got, like, I don't know, 50,000 freaking Lego Star Wars, which I'm not upset about. Like, believe me, I love that. But, I mean, you've got, like, 1, 2, 3. You've got 4, 5, 6. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you've got, like, 7, 8, 9. And then you've got the Skywalker Saga, like, version of Lego. But I was just calling to hear what you guys have for your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars video games. I hope that we continue to see more Star Wars video games in the future, because you can say no to a Star Wars game. So I got, and of course, be with y'all.
It's a good question. So I feel like
it's a good question.
Yeah. So I feel like my answer would be different depending on if we're talking about games that I played versus games that I haven't. But like, I think like,
let's go with games that you have played. Because I think this is your personal Star Wars video game Mount Rushmore. Mm-hmm. It's not the Star Wars video game Mount Rushmore. It's your video game. That's how I'm taking it, because I've only played a handful of like actual Star Wars video games.
Yeah, so I would say I like that he mentioned Lego Star Wars, because I was actually forgot about that, and I think that should definitely be up there. So I'll say Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga should be on there, because it's like the definitive one, basically.
Yeah, it's all of them in one.
Yes. So Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I would say Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
Because I love it. I love a good Jedi. I want to be able to play as a Jedi and do Jedi things. I would say Star Wars Squadrons, because it's like the most modern and up to date version of a flight combat Star Wars game, which I think is like, so I'm like trying to get a spectrum. So we've got the Lego game, we've got the Jedi action game, we've got the flying and shooting game, and then I'm gonna say like Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, because we need a racing game in there.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that.
That's my thought. Yeah.
Okay. I will start mine off with the two that we have in common. We have the Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars, and Star Wars Pod Racer.
Yes.
Then I have, no surprise, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars Empire at War.
Ooh, yeah.
I love Star Wars Empire at War. That game I probably played almost as much, if not more, than Battlefront. Like when I was new to playing both of them. Just because Battlefront, I just blitzed through the story, and then beyond that, there's not I didn't have online anything, so there wasn't really anything else to do.
Sure.
On Star Wars Battlefront. But Empire at War, I could just load a new game and pick a different faction, and there were expansion packs, and you could just do whatever. It was different every time I played. And I'm probably gonna play it again tonight. Definitely gonna play it. Yep. Yeah, it's just such a fun game, because it's kind of like I guess it's like StarCraft but Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're manning entire fleets of vehicles and squadrons of troops and stuff, and
it's like a real time strategy.
Yeah. That's what it's called. But yeah, so that would be my Star Wars video game Mount Rushmore. Great question, Jason. I'd be interested to hear yours, Jason. So whenever you get this,
I feel like if I had played it,
I want to know yours.
Once I've played it, I would say once I've played it, probably I would say KOTOR would be on there, just because it's I know it's so beloved and iconic, and considered to be one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars games. Yeah. So.
I started Knights of the Old Republic. I think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, and then got stuck and got frustrated, and then just didn't play it anymore. That's kind of where
that's happened with me for it's happened with me for several games, and there just have been a few that I've had to try a few times before it clicked with me, and then I loved it. And I feel like that's another.
I imagine I'll get there eventually, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we have 2 more voicemails from Jason.
Yeah, or at least 2 more parts of the same voicemail, because they came in on the same day. So
okay, cool.
That's what I'm thinking. Shall we?
All right. Yeah.
Hey guys. I know you're talking about the Water Wars episode. Anytime you're talking about Biff Tamlin, the representative for the Separatists, it makes me think of Brick Tamlin. Brick Tamlin from Anchorman. Mainly because Brick killed a guy with a trident.
He did.
Tridents are also underwater, so maybe that's the connection. That's what I'm going to go with, guys.
Yeah, definitely inspired by Steve Carell's character from Anchorman, Brick Tamlin, the weatherman from Anchorman. Oh my god, Brick killed a guy. Yeah, I stabbed a guy in the heart with a trident.
I need to rewatch that movie.
It's such a good movie. I feel like Anchorman was the last culture defining comedy movie before memes became a thing. Because I feel like before memes, you were just sharing memes with people. I remember in like freshman and sophomore year of high school just quoting Anchorman at people. Like, and that was just like, I had full conversations with people just quoting Anchorman because it was so funny. And like, we would just do that, like with my buddies in high school. Yeah. We would just quote Anchorman all the time. Kind of like the same way that, like, before Anchorman,
before memes,
like Monty Python, like you would quote recite entire I remember in Boy Scouts we would recite entire scenes from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because it was hilarious and it was so much fun. So Anchorman was definitely that for me. But no. Did Shark Guy have a trident? I don't remember.
I don't.
He had his throwy exploding knives.
True. I don't think there were people who had tridents. I don't think he had one. I think he had his teeths and he had his explodey things.
He did have teeths and explodey things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more voicemail.
Let's do it.
Wait, my whole reasoning for my previous voicemail was to call in and talk about how much Pong Krell sucks.
Yes!
Pong Krell sucks. That's all I got, guys.
I love you, Jason.
Cool. Thanks,
I love you so much.
Always remembering to do the most important work here. Reminding us all of just how much of a terrible, terrible person Pong Krell is.
Yeah, F that guy. Yeah. He's the worst. Thank you, Jason. I love you. That was good.
Thank you, Jason, for calling in. If you, listener, would like to join in the discussion, leave a voicemail at 512-850-6653, and we might feature your comments, questions, corrections, or reminders that Pong Krell sucks on the podcast. Join us next time when we'll be talking about 3 episodes. It's going to be 2 episodes of Clone Wars and 1 episode in between of Tales of the Empire. We're going to be watching the Clone Wars Season 4, Episode 19, Massacre. Then Tales of the Empire, Episode 1, The Path of Fear. Then the Clone Wars Season 4, Episode 20, Bounty. So it's a trifecta here.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a weird jumping around.
This is it's the Night Sisters Massacre, right?
Correct.
And it's the end. So it's a 5-part arc for Clone Wars Episodes 1, Tales of the Empire episode, and this is the end of Season 4 of the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. And I believe this is also where we get Maul.
Yes, we get Maul in our, not in this next episode, but in the following episode, we're going to be getting Maul back. So that's exciting.
Yep. So in Unlimited Content, episode 54.
And then we're going to get, oh my God, we're so close to season 5? What?
That does happen after season 4.
Like, that's, because season 5 is like where some of my favorite episodes of the series are. Like, I can't believe we're already almost there. That's nuts. Oh my God.
Yep.
Hold on, where's season 5 episode 1? Oh, season 5 episode 1 takes place later. That's weird. So, like, we'll start with season 5 episode 2, and then later on we come back to season 5 episode 1. Yeah. Weird.
Yep.
Yeah. Because most of what we've been watching has been in, like episode order has been in chronological order. So it's been a... Yeah. HD.
Yep. And it's almost Star Wars New Year.
What?
It's going to be 19 BBY.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Cool. Man.
And that's the year that Revenge of the Sith happens.
Oh, man. You can't say that kind of thing to me.
I just did.
Oh, no.
What are you going to do about it?
I want to punch you.
No.
Oh, well, I guess
don't.
Not. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Well,
stay safe. Go watch some Star Wars. Do Spice. Because why not? And may the Force be with you all.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody. All the cool kids. And all the lame kids. No matter if you're cool or lame.
Everybody.
Everybody. Yep. Everybody. All right. Cut the chatter.
All right, cut the chatter. Roger, roger.